Welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. I'm Skull King, and last time we just kind of chit-chatted with some people, and trying to get to know our team better, maybe get them to be more friendly towards us. We're currently in the process of talking to Leliana, so let's finish our conversations with Leliana.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
I heard in Orlais minstrels are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
Someone told me this a long time ago.
And you believe everything you hear? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
What's the difference?
Many use the two words minstrel and bard interchangeably, but to do so in Orlais would cause misunderstanding. Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Patron? What sort of patron?
Nobles mostly. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You seem to know quite a bit about these bards.
And I should, shouldn't I, after having spent most of my adult life as one? You've guessed as much, I'm sure. But does it really matter what I was? What's past is past.
So that's where you learned to fight like that.
My skills served me well. But the day finally came when I decided to just put them aside. I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here. Yes? Something you need?
That's very interesting. Could you teach me to be a bard?
That's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others, for safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
And now, if you don't already have the bard specialization opened up, that gives you the bard specialization.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
You are a traveling minstrel. Do you have any tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
There's another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south, and settled there in a land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dells for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathus, the capital of Tevinter.
What a dick. Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
Let's just move on. Alright, so now we've talked to everybody. Nah, I'll take care of that off camera. Let's go on to our next area.
Yes.
Yes. Vashaden.
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay, so that's Soldier's Peak. Yeah, let's go back to Soldier's Peak, see if everything's set up yet. So, I'm not mistaken, yep, I got a storage chest. So let's just stash. I'm gonna keep that on me for now. Stash all these. Yeah. Continue a little bit. stash all these runes too for now. I'll keep all the gifts on me. I think next video I'll do the gifts maybe.
Welcome back, Warden. As you can see, we've been busy. Cleaned the place up a bit. Even my brother Mikhail came out of hiding. Never will you find a finer smith. Also got some goods stored here that might interest you. Buy them now before my cousins move it all someplace else.
Did you tell your family about Sophia?
I thought about it, but I figured that it's not a bad thing to believe that you come from a line of lions. Even if the truth is a touch more complicated. Our families believed that we were wronged. It gave us strength to make something of ourselves.
What do you think of Sophia?
King Arlen sounded like a right nasty piece of work. Sophia was branded a traitor. She consorted with blood mages. But in spite of it all, I think she was a hero.
The keep looks a lot different.
We've a big family. When you were away, we all pitched in. Hard to believe there were undead, demons, and worse around here, right?
Any trouble with Avernus?
I've not a peep from him. Seems to like keeping to himself. But I keep telling the children to stay away from the tower.
Let's see it was.
Certainly.
No weapons, okay. No armor, huh? Ice brand. Nothing to break your shorts over. Nothing. Lots of recipes. Runes. I don't think I need this stuff anymore. So we'll just sell it. Okay.
You? You're the warden? My family owes you. Any weapons I make, I will sell you for a discount.
You're Levi's brother? Not much of a family resemblance.
I have a family full of traders living a soft life, getting fat. I chose to learn the way of metal and stone. It keeps me strong.
You're a weaponsmith then?
Indeed. I have spent my life studying steel, dragonbone, and more. I learned all I could in human lands, and exiled dwarves taught me more. Give me the finest metals and materials, and I can make wonders for you.
Can I see yours? A red steel dagger. Ooh. Nice. I think I'm gonna need something a little more impressive than that, though. Ooh. Warden recruit shields. Grey Warden shields, metal kite shield, heavy metal. Oh, he also says armor. Nice, nice. Grey Warden. Damn. I'm gonna have to make a lot of money to afford a lot of shit from him. Nothing else. Okay. Okay, nobody else talks to us. Alright. Let's move on. Soldier's Pass. Ooh, something's happening.
Preserve us! I never liked this part. Blast! Begin the onslaught!
And take down.
I am getting lots of experience from doing it. So just random dark spawn horde attack. Yeah, that's all it was. Guess it's just a way to get some more experience. Alright, alright. Let's continue our way down to Soldier's Pass. Death fruit. Elf fruit. Elf fruit. Alright, let's talk to this fella. Felix.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
Part of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
I am Francis. Pleased to meet you.
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you consider helping a fellow out?
Help a fellow out how?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
What does a control rod do?
The dwarf I brought it from said it activates and controls a golem. So long as you have it in your hand, the golem does what you say. Might be useful, no? I mean, you look like the sort who could use one, yes?
What's the catch?
The catch? Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
How do I know this will even work?
The fellow I brought it from is a long-standing contact. He didn't want to come to Ferelden, however, with all our troubles. He said he got it from the man who owned this golem. But to be honest, I have no idea if it will work. Hence the low price. What do you say?
How much do you want for it?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
Yes, I think I could use it.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the golem down south, in a town called Honleith. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
And if it doesn't?
Maybe you could look up the fellow who owned the golem before. If he's still about, that is. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
Alright. And that's where we'll end today's episode. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. So I looked and 34% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel yet. So go ahead and subscribe if you're on this video and you're enjoying it. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications about when I post my next video. And share this video with anyone you think may enjoy it. Alright, until next time, have a good one.